Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stone Crow Virtual Pub with me, Simon. And today we got a special guest, a special summer guest for a special summer edition of the Stone Crow Virtual Pub. We have Hugh. Hello, Hugh.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Very good, very good. Nice to be with you.
Yes, absolutely. I can see we got some people in today already. We got Martin Dave says hi. Lewis Dodds says hello, everyone. Reese who says hi. Hi, and Stephen Claxton. Hi, and Stephen Claxton recently sent us a big box of beer into the channel. So thank you very much, Stephen. They're about to be released on the channel. Today, we're going to be talking with Hugh, who is from Meteor Beers in France. Fantastic. Where did I put my beer? And me and Hugh have been kind of talking and having a bit of fun here on the channel for about 15, 20 minutes. And I'm desperate for a beer now. It's boiling here, absolutely boiling. So I've got a lovely cold lager from Meteor. It's you've been going since 1640, Hugh. So maybe you can start off whilst I open this and pour it, talking about the history and the beginnings of the brewery of Meteor.
Yes, sure. Yes, thanks, Simon. So, as you said, the brewery was set up initially in 1640. So, Meteor Brewery is the oldest independent and family-owned brewery remaining in existence in France. So 1640, the brewery was set up, and in 1800, the brewery was taken over by the first generation of the family who is now running it. So 1800, a guy called Metzger took over the brewery, and now 8th generation down, it's Edward Hag who is running the brewery. So the brewery was first called Metzger Hag because Mr. Metzger then down the line married Miss Hag, who was also from a brewing family, and that's how the brewery started. So they were. The brewery was called Metzger Hag Brewery until 1925, but as you can tell, Metzger Hag is not a super catchy name. So they decided at that time it was the start of the kind of marketing and rebranding and trying to make brands more commercial, or more catchy names, more catchy,
Yeah.
So they rebranded in 1925 from Metzger Hag to Meteor.
Okay.
And they use Meteor for two reasons. Meteor because MET is the first three letters of Metzger. And or is a golden color. Yeah, gold is or, and beer is of a golden color. So Meteor seemed to be appropriate. They had a bit of a brainstorm. They had a few beers between them, and they came up with the idea of renaming the brewery Meteor.
Okay, so but something that's just clicked with me, and it didn't click when I was reviewing the beers, is that date of 1640. Not naming any other brewery, but there's another famous brewery with 1660 something or other in the name.
Yes.
So something was happening in France around that time. Big tree.
Yeah, the other brewery that we know of is let's say it's 1664. So we're glad to say that we've got more history than 1664, and we are still family owned and independent to this day, which is very important for us as a brewery, and very important going forward, for the owners to keep it independent, keep it family owned,
Okay, so sorry to interrupt you. We have some comments coming in. Lots of people saying hello to you. Hello, Hugh. So we got Dog's Window Brewery. They're based about 30 miles away from me in Bridgend. Fantastic little brewery there in Bridgend. They're saying hello to you.
Hello.
Michael Slocum is saying hello. Calvin Dixon saying hello. Yeah, lots of good positive comments. Neil Long, who travels to a lot back and forth to Malta, and sends me some fantastic Maltese beer. He said the Blanc look absolutely fantastic. It is. It's fantastic. And all of these beers, by the way, are available at beersofeurope.co.uk. They're available to buy at beersofeurope.co.uk. Is that an exclusive partnership that you got there with Beers of Europe?
Yeah, so we've got this special pack at the moment, special offer where you get 11 beers and a free glass. So to enjoy the beer, so some of you might be happy to know that there's only one of the sans alcohol, the non-alcohol or the low alcohol beer included in the pack. So it's ten full strength beer and one non-alcoholic and one free glass
I've got
in the pack.
I've got a young cat that's like really running around between my legs. I'm just going to check him out the back door. I'll let you carry on talking for a moment regarding
Yeah,
the box set, because the box set is fantastic.
yeah, yeah. So the box set, we've got 4 beers. Uh, we've got 4 beers, 4 lagers, 3 blanche, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 11. No, so it's three. So it's three. Sorry, 3 beers, 3 lager, and 3 blanche.
The lager, I'm drinking it now. It's
Yeah,
going down really, really quickly. Is
yeah,
absolutely fantastic. Now, I normally do, my followers know this, I treat this job as a bit of a 9 to 5 job. So I review my beers at 9 o'clock in the morning. I edit throughout the day. I upload to YouTube throughout the day. And I'm generally done by 5 o'clock in the evening. But I suppose what I'm saying here, the sun's blasting down through the doors here this evening. And I'm appreciating this lager a lot more than I really enjoyed it in the review. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But when the sun's shining on you and it's the evening, it tastes even better. It's a lovely lager, isn't it?
yeah. It's a lovely thirst quenching beer, isn't it? So
Hmm.
it's 4.5. It's easy drinking. It's slightly kind of malty on the meat palate, and then the finish is it's got a lovely kind of bitterness in the end, kind of to cleanse the palate to make you want to dive more into the lager.
Yeah.
What you would have noticed as well, probably Simon, is that the carbonation is very gentle. So we don't. Yeah. So it's mainly it's what I like to describe as natural carbonation because contrary to some other maybe big brewers, we don't re-inject a lot of CO2 when we keg or when we bottle our beers. So we lose a bit of CO2, of course, in the process of kegging or bottling. So we
Yeah.
re-inject whatever we lose to make sure that there's a nice carbonation, but it's what I would call a kind of a natural carbonation, which makes it very kind of easy drinking and very digestible as well. So it's
Okay.
also a good food beer because of this gentle natural carbonation, you can easily have it with food.
Yes, I found that. I ate about an hour or so ago, and I found that this beer is not, you know, it's a bit like this the Czech pour where you double pour in to get rid of the carbonation. You don't need an awful lot of carbonation in a beer. It's just going to make you boof. But we got a couple more comments. Beers of Europe are in, saying hello to Simon and Hugh. And
Hello.
Chris is saying, where's the beer from? So the beer is available from beersofeurope.co.uk and it's Meteor beers.
So Meteor, the brewery is based in Alsace. So Alsace is northeastern France by the German border. The main city in Alsace is Strasbourg, and Meteor, we are based in Hochfelden. Hochfelden, it's actually Hoch, Felden. So
HO.
it spells a bit differently than it sounds when you're Alsatian, because they pronounce the CH as an R. So it's Hochfelden. If you go there, they'll tell you Hochfelden. But
Ah,
but it spells Hochfelden. so
okay.
so it's 20 miles north of Strasbourg, Hochfelden.
What's
So
the typical? When I think of France, I think everybody has this same image. I'm thinking like rural towns, great bread, great cheese, great meats. What are you thinking with this, Hugh? What sort of
well,
food would you be pairing with this lager?
so the traditional dish you would have in Alsace with a meteor like this is choucroute. You know the choucroute is a cabbage potatoes, and then sausages and bacon,
Mm.
and veal as well. So it's quite a kind of a rich, hearty dish. That's a traditional Alsatian dish, and normally they use either a bit of beer, or sometimes a bit of white wine to cook the cabbage in. So it's shredded cabbage.
Oh, is
Shredded
it
cabbage.
fermented? Is it the sour cabbage?
Yeah, sour cabbage. That's right. Yeah,
Ah, I love it. I love it. I've
yeah,
been to
yeah,
Poland. Been to Poland and had this sour cabbage soup. It's just wonderful.
yeah, yeah.
Martin Day, who was the first person waiting to watch this stream, has just purchased a mixed case of beers of Europe. So, cheers
Very
to
good.
Martin. Cheers to
Very good.
Martin for watching today first and foremost, and then for ordering a box from Beers of Europe. That's really
Yeah,
wonderful. Thank you. If you can hit the like button down below, everybody, let's get this live stream going. I know it's the middle of summer. I know it's boiling hot and you're probably out and about, and it's not going out to an awful lot of people. It is midsummer, but if you can hit the like button down below, that will certainly get lots more people involved in this summer live stream. Um, let's do it. Let's get more people in. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. So, Hugh,
yes.
I have family in Italy, and whenever I drink like a cold pilsner or a cold lager, what I find throughout traveling through Europe is there's a big culture surrounding like snacks with beer too. Like in the UK, I believe you're the salesperson for the UK, and
Yes.
so you probably noticed in the shops there's loads of different flavors of crisp bacon and
Yeah.
wild. But what I find from European countries is they sell an awful lot of salt and vinegar, ready salted crisps.
Yeah.
I think the reason for that, and it's one of my favorite pastimes, is to find a day like today, nice sunny day, pour myself a cold lager, and eat some ready salted crisps, because I think that for me that's the perfect partnership. Just the bare naked potato with some salt on and some great lager.
Mm.
Do, do you uh,
Absolutely.
do, do you see that? Do you see where I'm coming from? Like the different, like there's so much like more plain, not overcomplicated like foods in European countries where it's almost as if it's been made for beer.
Yeah.
Crisps and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, in Alsace, we have the pretzels, which are small, kind of baked, uh, uh, kind of crisp size, floury, kind of snacks. And you
Yeah.
would typically go in a bar and you order a meteor, and they bring you a little dish of pretzels that you snack
Perfect.
with your
Slightly
with
salty.
your beer, and the
Yeah.
pretzels, yeah, and the pretzels are a bit salty as well. So it goes very well with it. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So Do you think your Pilsner's cooled down enough? Should we? I
Yeah,
tell you what.
I put it. Yeah. I can have a go. Yeah, let's. I mean, do you want to do the Pils first or the Blanche first?
I think we should do the Pilsner. Yeah.
Yeah. After the lager, yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. Bear
Okay.
with me for a second.
I'll wait with the live stream and then we'll switch. I'll go and get mine then in a moment. After you go and get yours, and then I'll go. So Al Humphreys is off. He's gone to the park with a mate. You'll watch it back later. Kevin Patton. I've had the lager on a trip to Paris, and it's really nice. It's fabulous. It's fabulous beer. Really good. They come in this really nice little 330 milliliter bottles too. There's no light strike coming through at all with this green glass either. There's no kind of fear of skunkiness going on, which is really good. Hoffelden in France, really good. Okay, I'll run and get my pills now. One second.
There you go. Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have to ask you, Hugh, if possible. The Pilsner obviously has more hops in it.
Yes.
That's the reason why it's in brown glass compared to the green glass bottle of the lager.
The reason why is because we've just actually moved the lager to brown bottle. So you've got the few last bottles of green lager. It's now in brown bottle. So we're using brown bottle for all our beers now.
I think that's perfect, to be honest.
Yeah. So if you do get lager in a green bottle, it's probably the last few bottles in the country, because going forward it's going to be brown only.
Okay. Yes, I was just briefly talking about light.
So there you go. That's a different type of glass as well.
Oh yes.
So I like to use the stem glass as well for bottles. It's nice too.
Fantastic. So yeah, mine's poured out really nice. So this is 5%. This is 4.5% ABV.
No, the Pils is 5%.
5%. I picked up the wrong bottle. 5% ABV with the Pils. I'm just going to mention this in the live stream because I found it completely ridiculous that I didn't read back the email. So we were in discussion about this live stream happening, and I normally proofread my emails after I've written them. And I was in a rush, so I just sent the email, and my phone had changed Hugh's name to Huggies, and it was like, oh my goodness me, oh my goodness. So I thought I would mention this just for people to I'm not very good at telling jokes, so
don't worry about it. I say it was quite funny actually.
So Countryman is saying, can you get this in the United States?
Yeah, so we are available on the East Coast. So we've got an importer in New York who is distributing on the East Coast. So yeah, you should be able to get it around New York, and maybe they might be able to ship it to some other places on the East Coast, Philadelphia, Boston. You would have to inquire. Yeah, if you want to drop me an email via Simon, maybe I can inquire for you actually.
Perfect. And well, going to America, because that intrigues me actually. Would that be going to more kind of like American restaurants, American bars, or like American bottle shops?
Yeah, restaurants and bars. That's right. Yeah. In America, just like in the UK, we're available in the restaurants, bar businesses. The only retail we do in the UK is e-retail with Beers of Europe.
Okay.
our business in the UK at this stage is restaurant and bars. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
the same in the US. Yeah.
So he's in New Jersey, so we can probably find it. There we go. Ryan McKenzie saying good evening. Almost missed out on this. Hope everyone is okay. Yeah, we're all okay. We're all okay. A nice summer live stream to get us by. So Hugh, talk us through the characteristics of this beer. Then maybe we could drink it together and talk about it.
So I might give you just a quick recap on where we stand with the beers. We were the first brewery in France to brew a beers.
Right.
So, do you want me to talk about the kind of the background first, or do you want to do the tasting first?
No, you do the history. I love the history. I'll stand.
All right. So basically, we've been brewing beers since 1927. We were the first brewery to brew a beers in France. So back in 1927, we had to get into an agreement with the Czechoslovak government at the time.
Yeah.
To import SAS hops,
Really?
Because in order to be able to label your beer as Pils, Pilsen, Pilsner, you need to incorporate SAS. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah. So we had to get into an agreement with the Czechoslovakian government to ship some SAS hops to Alsace, to the brewery. And then we mixed the SAS hop with our local kind of the emblematic hop from Alsace, which is a Strisselspalt. It's quite hard to pronounce, but Strisselspalt is a kind of traditional Alsatian hop. So here we've got a Strisselspalt and SAS. And also we've got some Magnum, I believe, hops. So that's the 3 hops we've got.
Ryan McKenzie has just put a big comment in there, asking whereabouts in France is this brewed. So I'll leave you to answer that question as well, if that's okay.
So we're in Alsace, northeastern France, north of Strasbourg, about 20 miles north of Strasbourg. So I can see you put Châteauroux there. Châteauroux is further south. It's more towards south and center France. So Limoges as well. So Limoges is in the center. So you're quite far away. You would need to drive up towards the German border.
Okay. And he's saying, is it sold in Super U?
Yeah. So in your part of Limoges and center France, you might find it in some supermarkets. I'm not sure Super U, but some supermarket in that part of France will stock it. Again, I can inquire about Super U, but I can't give you a straight answer on that one, I'm afraid.
Fantastic. Great. So how did it, when they launched the Pilsner in the early 1900s in France?
1927, yeah.
7. How did the French public take it? Was it a case of, do you have like history of how it sold, how it went?
Well, I mean, it was the best-selling Pilsner in France for a long time, purely because it was the first Pilsner to be released as such in France. So to this day. It's a bit different because now I think some of the Carlsberg are branded as Pilsner, so Carlsberg, so straight away you're talking about massive volumes,
So this really intrigues me now, and hopefully you can answer this question. So, being the biggest seller of Pilsner in France, you were probably back in the day one of the biggest breweries in France, I take it. By volume, you must have been selling lots and lots of beer. Was it a case of the family-owned company, they wanted to keep it relatively, within France and small, or was there part of the brewery and the part of the family that wants to go, hey, let's now go international, let's make this a massive thing, like, of course, the other brand, the 1664.
Yeah.
What happened? How come it wasn't a case of like, right, let's explode into
Well,
your.
yeah, I mean, what happened is that they never accepted any takeover offers, because that's what happened with Cronenberg. That's what happened. You know, they had a takeover offer, and they were sold to Carlsberg. You know,
I see.
whereas the Hague family always wanted to remain independent, because normally when there's a takeover, the brewery will take over. Will say, you know, we're going to take over your brewery, but we're going to keep all the jobs. You know, don't worry. You
Yeah.
know, and they say that, and after a year or two, they shut the brewery,
Yeah.
and they transfer the brewery in their mega brewery down the road,
Yeah.
where they dilute the quality of the beer, but they retain the brand. You know,
So yeah,
so
yeah, it's bad. I've been to Poland, and Poland is very, very hostile towards Heineken. There's some. I drove past some wonderful breweries in the Wrocław area of Poland, and they were completely derelict, falling holes in the roof, boarded up windows, and the buildings were beautiful. They were
yeah,
stone, beautiful, and I suppose that's a great thing that Meteor did.
yeah. I mean, oh, so the big village or the little town we're based in, Ockfelden, is it's about 4,000 inhabitants now,
Okay,
and the brewery employs more than 200 people. It's the biggest employer in the village. Yeah, and
fantastic.
historically it's been the biggest employer in the village. You know, so the owners, you know, are very attached to their Alsatian roots, and to you know, and to people who work with them, you know, because a lot of the people who work in the brewery started at 15, 16, 20, you know, and they've worked there for all their working life, you know.
Amazing.
So they feel that they've got a responsibility to keep the business independent, and to keep the jobs in Alsace, you know.
I would love to see it. I would love to one day come and bring my
Well,
camera.
you're welcome anytime. We've opened in 2016. We've opened a visitor center called Villa Meteor, where you can go and see the whole. You can go in the visit the historical part of the brewery, and get a feel about, you know, the history of the brewery, from 1640 to this day. You know,
Wow.
so it's
Wow.
open to the general public. Villa Meteor. You can visit at this time of the year. It's 7 days a week, I think. So in the winter time, it's only 5 or 6 days a week, but in the summertime, it's 7 days a week. So yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, I'll definitely come along and bring my camera and we'll film and
Yeah. Welcome
eat some
anytime,
bread, and yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
anytime. And then you will get a chance to try, as well as the wider selection of brews we've got, because today we've got 18 brews available in France.
Really?
18 different styles. Yeah.
So can you tell me some of these styles of beer then? Because I'm really interested. Do you brew a stout? Do you
So
brew a
we don't. We used to, but we've discontinued the stout. But we do a 6.2 IPA. We do a cherry beer. We do a few. We've just released a limited edition red lager, which is a lager infused with elderflower, hibiscus, and orange blossom.
I bet.
So
Fantastic.
it's something quite unique. We do an Hefeweizen, which is one of my favorite brew.
My favorite.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Yeah, um, but unfortunately, at this stage in the UK market, we only have in bottle. We've got what we are trying tonight. Yeah.
But you know, I think this is a very, very good foot in the door for the UK market. The UK market, I've discovered over the last few years.
Yeah.
For years, I've been going 14 years on YouTube, and I was pushing at the beginning real ale, Then I was pushing craft beer. Then I looked into food, reviewing junk food on the channel. And
Yeah.
about 3 years ago, I started really looking at lager. And that was the moment the channel set alight. The moment I opened my eyes to good lager, it was like I had a whole new audience to talk to.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I think the UK market is for these beers here. It's a
Yeah.
great it's a great market to try and get into. And I think you brought your best beers here to sell.
Yeah, I mean we've got like an Abbey style kind of heavier, style of beer, so we've got quite a few different recipes because I guess the French market is. I mean, we're mainly in the French market. We only export 5% at this stage.
Yeah, yeah.
So our bread and butter is the French market. So we've got to make sure we get a style of beer for every beer drinker. If you see what I
Mm,
mean. So in northern France, there are two. Historically in France, there are two big beer drinking region: Alsace and the north of France, Lille. Lille
okay.
and the north of France. So
Yeah.
in Lille, they tend to drink more like Belgium style beer, heavier, Abbey style,
I
Um,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah. So, and whereas in Alsace, because we're closer to the German border, we tend to drink more, German style beer.
Yes.
So, Weiss beer or, Lager Pilsner,
I mean,
but now this kind of beers are available in France, and then we supply them throughout the country.
so being quite close to the German border, do you does the brewery conform to like the Reinheitsgebot, the German purity law, where you just produce hops, malt, yeast, water, or do you not directly, but because of course you said you had a raspberry beer and you had other stuff, but I know you're allowed to, but is it more kind of like what the public expect is, especially from your lager and your pilsners, just the four ingredients being used?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, we don't have to. We I mean, we don't have the equivalent of the purity law in France. Yeah.
No, no.
Uh, so I mean, of course, you know, we try to. I mean, the aim is to brew the purest possible beer. I mean, you know. So 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 so. But we're not. Yeah. I mean, the main issue is acidification, I guess. Because that's where the purity law comes into play. Yeah. So I think in that respect, maybe where when in Germany they have to acidify naturally if they have to.
Yeah,
Uh, in France we can do it artificially. Yeah. So, but the quality control is as stringent. You know.
of course, of course.
So.
So tell me what you're tasting with this pilsner then. So is this your favorite style? Is this your
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I mean, for I think I always say the lager is a good entry level into the. It's a good entry point into the Meteor range
yeah,
because it's quite it will appeal to a lot of palates.
yeah,
As a lot of people will like it because it's not too bitter. It's easy drinking. It's quite refreshing. Whereas the Pils is much more distinctive. Yeah, so you've got it's hoppier. So the Pils for me is more of a connoisseur. People who drink beer who are looking for something more distinctive flavors. They will, in my opinion, go for Pils purely because of that. It's hoppier. It's more bitter. It's more full bodied.
it's fantastic, isn't it? It's fantastic. It's really lovely. Let's taste it together. Let's do it. It's so beautifully refreshing, crisp,
Yeah.
a little bit of carbonate, just really lovely. mid-July, summers. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And what's enticing as well with Meteor beer is that you always finish with this note of bitterness. You know, slight bitterness that gives you that cleans your palate, and makes you want to have another sip. You know.
Yes. Okay.
Which is very kind of enjoyable, I think.
Fantastic, really good. I was going to ask a question earlier on, and it's just slipped me by. So I'll have a look at some of the. There was a really interesting question as well. I was going to ask you. That was it. Yeah, that was it. So let's talk. We've spoken a little bit about the history of Meteor. What's the company's plans going forward? Start off with the French market, and then tell us about the international market.
Yeah. So Meteor today in France, we brew around about 500,000 hectoliters. So 500,000 hectoliters. We employ about 200 people. And we supply 60%. We sell our beer 60% in the retail supermarkets.
Yeah.
And 35% goes to the restaurant and bar trade. We've got about 4,500, if I remember right, 4,500 bar and restaurant accounts, hotel bars and restaurants accounts in France. And then in the northeastern part of France where we are from, we are available in most retail, most supermarkets and shops. We'll have a Meteor, and we are available in a lot of restaurants and bars, of course.
Go on, answer the UK and the international.
So export wise, we do 5% of our output goes to the export market.
Okay.
So it's a growing market for us. The biggest country for us at the moment is the UK.
Okay.
Quantity wise, and then the second biggest is probably Italy. Third biggest would probably be the US at the moment.
Okay.
We used to do a bit of business pre-COVID. We used to ship a bit to China, but I think that died out with COVID. And now we need to maybe. My colleague is an export manager. Is probably going to go back to China and try to strike a few deals over there.
Yeah. Maybe not do what that Tsingtao worker did a few years back. You remember the Tsingtao, the Chinese lager? You know, is it TSINGTAO?
Right.
There's nobody from China watching, so I can say it anyway. They caught him urinating in the tank.
Oh yeah. I remember hearing about that. Yeah. That's not good.
It ruined
the
company.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah.
So now I was told this because I have worked with French beer companies before, specifically Jensen Button's brewery in France. I can't think of the name of the brewery now. He owns a part in a brewery, the Formula One racing drive.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, because he's based in Monaco. I think he lives in Monaco, no?
Yeah, so it's around that area. They own this brewery. But my question is, apart from Jensen Button's brewery in France, is it right that there's more breweries in France per square mile than anywhere else in the world? Is that right? I've heard there's so many lager breweries in France. There's so much, like different things going
Yeah,
on.
I mean, there's been a massive boom over the past 10 years, following the craft beer kind of developments. So there's a lot of small-ish, what I would call garage brewers. Who brew for the village, who brew for the neighborhood, or brew or brewing units at the back of a cafe or a bar. Who qualify as a brewer, but they supply their outlets. Uh, so yeah, there's a lot now of these kind of brewers, which is good for the market, because the more people get interested into drinking beer, the better it is. So so I think it's great, compared to when I was a student, almost 25 plus years ago. We were limited to a few options. Now the students in France, they got a lot of beers to choose from, which is great.
They have,
And
yeah,
if they get used to drinking beer at this age, then they're going to carry on.
exactly.
So I'm all for it.
I'm used to when I think of French lager, I think of the little stumpy bottles.
Yeah,
That's my thought, and you buy them in the supermarket. In the
yeah,
little mini. That's my.
yeah,
If I think of France, I think of the little stubby.
yeah, yeah. So I think, yes, that's a kind of a historical kind of view of the French beer. But if you go today, you will find a wide range of different style, from the craft to the traditional.
Okay,
So,
I'm just gonna ask my people in the wonderful comments. Can one of you Google search the brewery that Jensen Button owns? Oh, and with Danny Ricciardo as well, which is quite difficult to spell. There's a couple of Formula One drivers. They invested in this French brewery. It's a double-barreled name, and I can't remember off the top of my head the name of this brewery. But I spoke to these people in depth.
right.
They sent me the beers. It was like they started up brand new brewery, new stainless steel, and new setup. But of
Yeah.
course, the Formula One drivers putting their money into the thing. They'll come back to me. I'm gonna go and get your blanche, the black with the white.
The blanche, yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
bit.
Should I go and get it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah. So when this is the first time Hugh has done anything like this before, and I'm gonna ask him. It's so easy. It's so like I'm gonna see if he's enjoying it. I'm gonna ask him. That's it, Blue Coast Brewery. Charlie Stewart. Yes, thank you, Charlie. Blue Coast, that's it. There we go. We got a couple of people
There
coming
you
in.
go.
It called the company's called Blue Coast Brewery.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I've got to look into that, because you see that this one passed me by. I'm not aware of
Yeah,
it.
I drank some of the beers. It was very good, very very good. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Martin. You said to me before you come on the air that this is the first time you've done something like this. How are you finding it? Are you enjoying it? We got people talking about the beer.
Yeah.
They're all
No,
very
it's great. Yeah. 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 No, it's fine. It's just yeah, just like having a chat in a pub. That's right.
exactly, and that's
Yeah.
that's how I wanted to. That's how I like to come across, because,
Yeah.
of course, you never know what to expect. It could be like really really technical stuff. It could be just laid back, have
Yeah.
fun. That's how I like to do things. So
Yeah.
this
I'm not paying too much attention to the questions on the right there, though. So
it's
sorry about
okay.
that.
I'm used to that. I've got this. I've got the comments. Yeah. So
Right.
this is the fantastic. Now you're gonna hear a lot of oohs and ahs in this little tasting, because I love this beer. This beer is absolutely fantastic. It really is beautiful, beautiful, tasty. Do you add orange to the? Is it got like an orange peel addition, or is
No, 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 no. That's purely due to the strain of yeast we're using.
really?
Yeah, we managed to achieve that. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's fantastic.
yeah. So here we've got we've got we've got a third wheat malt wise. So we've got third wheat, we've got a third barley, and we've got a third maize.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what as well differentiates it from a German Weiss, for example. A German Weiss would be much closer to, I think a German Weiss, in fact, by law, has to be 50% wheat.
Yeah.
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 Whereas we are 30% wheat, which makes it, in my opinion, more balanced, a
Yeah.
bit drier, which is, I think, more enjoyable. But
I, this is more. So for me, I think when I reviewed this, I was saying this is more like Belgian wit. This is
yeah,
more influenced by Belgian style
yeah,
beer.
yeah. So it's closer, yeah. So it's closer to a Belgian wheat, I agree, than to a German Weiss. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking definitely maybe like maybe some clove or spices or orange or banana, but it's just the yeast. It's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Okay, let's try. Yeah. Oh, it's just so good. It's just so the carbonation is perfect. The mouthfeel is
Yeah,
incredible. The drinkability and then the flavors just wash.
yeah,
You're washing on the palate is so good.
yeah,
So good.
yeah. It's very clean as well, isn't it? So quite aromatic compared to the other two, but it's a wheat beer, so you would expect it, you know.
Yes,
So
yes.
so you've got more, yeah. So you've got more kind of citrusy flavor and a bit of maybe bit of kind of coriander, you know, kind of this kind of spicy as well, a bit of spice in there, you know.
And that's it. That's it. Is
Yeah,
this is this your personal favorites? Is this what you
I
know?
have to say, out of these three, Pierce is my favorite. Um, but in the summertime, wheat, the blanche goes down very well. Yeah.
Ah,
For summer drink, the blanche is just perfect with this kind of weather we've had today. You know, it's lovely. Yeah.
it's beautiful. I've finally the sun's dropped out of the sky a bit, and I can cool down a bit. It's been boiling in
Mm.
here, but it's perfect. So, Martin, see Martin in the comments and Hugh. So, um, Hugh, where would you be? What would you be eating with this beer?
So I mean, for me, this is good for this would work for with seafood. You know, seafood, fish would work quite nicely because it's got this kind of slight kind of citrusy undertones to it. You know, so I think would work nicely with yeah, with seafood. Um, Seafood, fish. Yeah.
That sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. And Lewis Williams is asking, is the Blanc available in 500 ml bottles?
Not at this stage. At the moment, it's only in these three beers are only available in 330 ml.
Okay. And in France, is it the same? Is it the same bottling line? I'm presuming for the
In
beers.
France, it might. Well, in France, a different story again because we sell mainly in 250s in the shops in the supermarkets.
The
Yeah,
little
yeah,
stumpy.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we sell in 250s, and then we sell in draft. You know,
Okay.
in
So
kegs.
you're thinking the 330 milliliter bottle. You're thinking this is going to be popular for the UK. This was
Yeah,
the
so that's what we do. We do for export markets. We do in 330 because 250 wouldn't work here. You know, I mean, you've seen the sans alcohol 250. You know, it's an unusual kind of size for the UK market, isn't it?
yeah. Only like you see it in maybe little Aldi, the
Yeah,
250. milliliter bottles. Yeah, it's fantastic. This
Yeah,
is. I have another 3 bottles left. I might have another one after this,
yeah,
but I'm going on holiday very shortly, and I
yeah.
might take another 2 bottles on holiday with me and enjoy them whilst I'm relaxing on holiday.
Are, are you staying in the UK or?
Yes, yes, I'm going. I'm going to a place called Ludlow in Shropshire,
Oh
and
yeah,
we're
yeah,
going
yeah,
there. The reason my wife loves history and I love beer,
yeah,
of course. So we get to see lots of
yeah,
castles and ruins, and for my wife during the day, and then of course you have
yeah,
three ton, 3 tons brewery in Shropshire. It's
yeah,
the oldest brewery in the UK. I've never been.
yeah.
It goes back something like, I think it's not far from your date. It might even be 1640. It might even be the same
I
the
see, I
same,
see.
the
Yeah,
same year, but it really goes
yeah.
right back, right back. And it's the reason why a company called Shepherd Neame.
I do.
Shepherd Neame. So on their label, they call
Second
it
names are in Faversham. Yeah,
that.
they're in
Yeah.
Faversham. Yeah,
They can only they call themselves Britain's oldest brewer,
yeah.
but they're not allowed to call themselves Britain's oldest brewery because
Ah.
those 3 tons beat them by like 20 years.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. So it's funny because I never made the distinction. Yeah, I always thought they were the oldest brewery, but in fact they
But
are
it's
the oldest brewer.
but it's very, very funny because if you think about it, Shepherd Neame,
Yeah,
1669, that's
yeah,
only 5 years different from 1664.
yeah,
And then if you go back 20 years earlier,
yeah,
Meteor,
yeah,
25, 26 years, Meteor was
yeah,
created.
yeah,
And then 3 tons about the same time because they're about
yeah,
20 years older than Shepherd Neame. It's all
yeah,
happening at the same time.
yeah, yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a kind of a, beer clearly was the thing to do. Brewing was the thing to do back then. I think. Yeah, but I think probably what happened. I think that probably it's a question of scale as well. Probably at this stage, to brew good beers, you had to have more scale. So you couldn't do it at the back of the pub or at the back of the restaurant, as you used to before.
Yeah.
So probably it's a question of people investing into setting up bigger operators.
Okay.
Um, but
Oh,
these 3 beers, I was going to say, Simon, these 3 beers are bottom fermented as well. So I think maybe your audience would like to know that.
so this is when we're talking bottom fermented, this is lager brewing.
Yeah.
And then top fermented. If you wanted to quickly cover that between top and bottom fermented,
Yeah. So bottom fermented are beers, lager style beers where the yeast works better at a lower temperature.
okay.
So you have beers that are kind of drier, hopier. Top fermented beers are beers where the yeast work better at higher temperature, and therefore you get beers that are more like ales, so a bit more like, uh, would I say caramel or kind of toffee notes,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ale, stouts, that sort of thing.
Stouts, exactly.
Yeah. So we got a
Yeah,
couple more comments that are quite interesting. One from it's B789 W789, and he discovered Meteor in Basel, Switzerland. Made the weekend break magical and memorable. Thank you for creating amazing beers. There we go. So
thank
you
you.
obviously export to Switzerland at the same time.
Yes, well, yeah, you see, yeah, I guess Switzerland. Yeah, well, I'm glad to see that we are in Switzerland as well. But it's on the route to Italy. When you drive from Strasbourg or you drive from Alsace, you cross. It's not a big task to cross and go to Switzerland and drop a few cases, you know.
Okay. So there's a couple more questions. One by Lewis, and he says, "Why is it Holland, Belgium, and Germany beer is held in higher regard in the UK? Is it marketing or France not so bothered with the UK market?" I don't know.
I think it, you know, if you can sponsor the premiership, you know, people will remember you, you know.
Yes.
People are more likely to remember you if you can sponsor the premiership or the rugby, you know.
Yeah.
Sadly, you know, sadly that's the way it is, you know. So I mean,
Absolutely right. Absolutely
yeah.
right.
Mm.
Absolutely right. Jordan Burrows has said, "Do you know if the crates of Budvar and Startup Farm are little imported?" Okay, so this is something quite different. Um, I'm not sure. I will check very soon. And we got so we have a here. What we have is we have a membership here, so people can join our channel, and some of the members of the channel, they pay a monthly fee to help keep us going. And we have a member here. They're celebrating 44 months
Wow,
as members, and they're from America. They're from Florida.
wow,
Jason and Sarah. So we have a few
very good.
members, but it
Yeah.
all keeps the light bulbs on.
Yes, yes, very good, very good.
Good evening, Steve. How are you doing? So, there was a question. Oh, that was it. That was a very important question. In the UK market, we have a problem at the moment where, and this is what's jogged my memory, that when we were talking about the likes of Heineken and Carlsberg. Carlsberg is 3.4% ABV now in the UK. Stella Artois used to be 5.2. It went to 5. It's now 4.6. Will Meteor kind of keep their ABV the same? If they were to get a foothold in the UK market and become quite a big thing, is it important for Meteor to hold the ABV at the same? And why is it that these big breweries are lowering the ABVs? Is it something to do with tax, maybe, which is always always the
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm afraid it is. Yeah. So we all know that duty applies. Excise duty applies on alcoholic drinks, and unfortunately, when the duty goes up all the time, and there's a you know, prices go up all the time because of inflation. You've got to find a way to keep your prices down if you're a massive brewer, you know, and if you're
yeah
selling your beers in supermarkets and the likes, you know, like if you, I'm talking like multinational brewers. We know the one we're talking about. Yeah.
yeah
So when you get to that level, you're under pressure to keep your price down or your price stable, and one way of doing that is to reduce the alcohol, therefore reduce the duty on the bottle, and
okay
therefore keep the price stable. Um, with regard to us, Meteor, you know, I mean, for us, what matters is what's inside the bottle. That the beer is not compromised. You know, that we keep the quality the quality level we've achieved over the years. You know, so so the answer is no. We're not planning to reduce the ABV. It's going to stay the same. So 4.5 for the lager, 4.7 for the blanche, the wheat beer, and 5% for the pils.
It's beautiful, beautiful. It's lovely to hear. Thank you very much. I
Yeah.
know it's a slightly awkward question to ask, but it's one that is very important to me, and it's very important to my fan base as well. We some of our most successful videos over the last few months has been highlighting. I've been finding older versions. Let's use the French beer, for example. I found an old Kronenberg. I bought a new Kronenberg. The ABV was different. The beer was completely different. These companies, they must be getting feedback from people. They must be getting feedback from the people who buy the beer. And if they're not getting feedback, then obviously they're getting feedback in their sales. The sales must be going down because I don't know if they think people are silly or stupid. I got no idea, but it's one of these things for me. I'm very passionate about it, and it's not made clear enough.
No, but I think you've got to recognize that I mean, you're lucky to you're lucky to have to have followers, fans who are interested in what they're drinking.
Yes.
But a lot of people will order a beer without thinking, without even noticing what it is.
Yeah.
So they will order, give me a lager. Give me a lager without even saying which one. I mean, which are without even taking an interest in the offering. That's available. Give me a lager without even so. If you don't pay attention to what you're drinking, then I guess it doesn't matter that so much as for us where we're more picky about what we're drinking, I guess.
Absolutely. Okay, we got a couple of minutes left. We are gonna finish this at 8 o'clock. My microwave clock is saying 4 minutes to 8. Is there anything, Hugh, that you would like to wrap up with Meteor and their beers? And I do have one last question for you. We've talked about some of the other styles of beer. Specifically, the one that piqued my interest was the Hefeweizen and the strong Belgian beer that you mentioned. Is there a possibility for me to try more beers to show my fan base the rest of your range of beers?
Yeah.
And is there something else you'd like to say about Meteor?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'd like to thank you for hosting us tonight, for inviting us tonight on the show, and I hope it was informative for your fans. Yeah, I really enjoyed having this conversation. With regard to the UK, I'd like to say that we also have an IPA, the IPA 6.2 I was mentioning earlier.
Okay.
If some of you are in or around London, we have an IPA 6.2 available on draft in some sites in London. It's a draft only. And we also have a session IPA. We've partnered with Cote. Cote Restaurant is a chain of French restaurants in the UK that you're probably familiar with.
Cote Brasserie.
And we have a session IPA available in Cote only.
Okay.
So
okay.
if you're curious, you want to find out more about Meteor, go to Cote and crack open a session IPA, and you will get a flavor of what a Meteor session IPA is.
Fantastic.
And with regard to the Hefeweizen and the IBB, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd be more than happy to get you some samples. Maybe we can have a chat as well with the beers of Europe. Maybe do a mixed case of that on the back of it. Then your fans can take advantage of it.
Brilliant. Yeah. That would be wonderful, and that would be a fantastic exclusive. If we could sort this out and realize that we sorted it all out together on a live stream, that we all wanted to try Meteor beer, because Hefeweizen is anywhere near as good as this, then it's going to be fantastic. And so strong Belgian beer too. That's going to be fantastic.
Hefeweizen is amazing. To be honest, it's a beautiful beer, beautiful and very sessionable as well.
This going down. I mean, I've drunk nearly 3 beers in an hour, and they're just absolutely they're flying down. They're absolutely fantastic. Oh, beers of Europe. Here we go. That sounds like a great idea.
There you go.
Wonderful. So, one last thing, Meteor. What's the plan going forward in the UK? Are you just going to hope for more sales, and of course,
Yeah.
we're coming out of a recession now, so people should have a little bit more money to spend. And
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, this year we're going back to 2019 levels as far as we're concerned with regard to our development in the UK, which is good. So we're going back to a pre-COVID situation, which is good. Took us
yeah,
a while, but we're getting there. And going forward, basically, we'd like to increase our footprint in the UK. So the more we can achieve with these three beers we've started with, the more likely we are to bring. I mean, we're kind of talking about bringing a cherry beer. We have a cherry beer that's been very successful in France.
oh, like a Belgian Creek.
So it's a cherry beer with Morello cherry.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nice. It's a bit like, it's more like a fruity than a creek, I guess. Uh, but yeah, so that's something we're looking maybe to do by the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, basically the idea is to carry on growing in the UK. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. I was getting the live stream ready, and I mistakenly forgot to put the link down below. So I'm going to speak the link. You guys know my channel sponsor probably anyway, because they're such a fantastic sponsor. If you want to buy the mix case, and it comes with this wonderful glass, head over to beersofeurope.co.uk and order your mixed case of Meteor beers with the glass. You will not be disappointed. It's fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, Hugh, for joining me.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much for Beers of Europe for hosting this and sorting us out with some lovely beers in a glass. And I hope everybody who's watching tonight, if they want to try some great French beer, head over to beersofeurope.co.uk and order your Beers of Europe Meteor mix.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Simon. Thank you.